Hello there, my name is Myrna Loy of Blackbright News, and today's topic is a difficult one because it's not straightforward. So there's a lot of factors involved. The title is Rebuilding Black Families or Relationships. I mean, when you think about a family, it is made up of the integration of different relationships, isn't it? Two individuals have children, and then you have relatives, and, it gets wider and wider. Now, when we're thinking about rebuilding black families, we have to think about what strengthens the family. And what strengthens a family is understanding between the parties, whoever those parties are. When you are in a relationship or a part of a family, you have certain expectations of each individual. Parents or children have expectations that their parents are going to treat them a certain way, that they're going to be consistent with them, that they're going to set boundaries, that they're going to love them, and that they're going to treat them in a way that makes them feel safe. Similarly, partners enter a family or relationship believing that the two people are going to build each other up so that they too can feel safe. Now, what happens invariably is that, especially in today's times, historically, families, the father headed the family, and the wife or the mother and the children depended on the father or the man of the house to protect them, to look after them, to do what needed to be done in order to keep the home safe and secure. That depended on him going out into the fields or into wherever he needed to go to get work, to get money, to pay for what needed to be paid for. And then that was his job done. We're now in a society where we have a lot of agricultural jobs or industrial jobs. They're no longer available. So where the black male was able to fall back on these jobs, whether he was educated or not, a lot of the blue-collar workers would have worked in the factories, they would have worked on cars, they would have done construction. A lot of this stuff is being taken over by technology, and as a result, they're out of work. When they're out of work, they don't have that sense of worth, they don't have that sense of pride. They're at the mercy of whoever can give them a job. They're at the mercy of the chastisement from their wife and their family or whoever. And they end up feeling like crap. Now, in order to rebuild the family, we have to understand it a little bit better. We have to understand the dynamics of what's going on. When we think about black families, we have to accept that we have a very fragile base. Unlike white families, and they say, well, why do you keep harping on about history? Why do you keep harping on about the past? Why don't you just get over it and deal with today? The problem is that it's easy to say, but when you think that a lot of us, we have been indoctrinated by our parents and they by their parents. So even though it happened a long time ago, it's kind of fed through the generations. And so instead of us being free of all of that latent hostility, it still keeps resurrecting itself all the time. So you end up thinking to yourself, or reaching a stage where you don't feel comfortable saying what you want to say, doing what you want to do, feeling, behaving how you want to behave. Now, I'm not talking about negative behaviour or negative things here. I'm talking about just general things that don't have no negative repercussions. But yeah, I'm thinking about that when we're thinking about rebuilding the family. How can we make it strong again? Well, the only way we can make it strong again is for the men to feel strong. At the moment, a lot of the black men are feeling weak. They're feeling disempowered. they're feeling unsafe, they're feeling unsupported. We've got a lot of black women who says, serve them right. You know, they haven't done this, they haven't done that, they let me down here, they betrayed me there, they lied to me here, blah, blah, blah. The thing is that there are still good men. You know, they've got that movie called A Few Good Men. There are still good black men out there. But what's happening is that everybody's getting penalised. And when we're thinking about rebuilding black families, it's like this is difficult for those who've already made the mistake. Who've already made the mistake by building a relationship with somebody who doesn't have the wherewithal to carry it through. Now you have men who from the very beginning they were wrong choices, and therefore it's difficult to say to those women, you must nurture these men, you must build them up, you must do this, you must do that, because they've married or settled down wrong with the wrong person. They've settled down with somebody who doesn't have no purpose, no vision, no morals, no values. They might have chauvinistic, narcissistic tendencies, but whatever it is, they are not looking at the woman to help them, or if they're looking at the woman to use. Now, these type of men, it's not sensible to invest all your time with them unless you see that things could turn around, but only you can do that because you're already in the relationship. This is more for young people or people who are single and who want to establish a stable relationship, who want to rebuild a family structure. And to do that, you have to build it up from the root. So therefore, you have to be right from the beginning. When you're seeking that partner or when you're with that partner, you have to have, I know checklist sounds corny, but you have to have that checklist. You have to make sure that they're compatible. And this is men and women. You have to make sure they're compatible with your values. You have to make sure they're God-fearing, so they're not all over the bloody place and inconsistent. They have morals and principles. You have to make sure they have a job. You know what I mean? And you have to make sure that they have those, they have a conscience, so that when you are pulling together, and most of importantly, they have to have a vision and a purpose. If you meet somebody and you say to them, what are you planning to do, or how do you see your life going, or what have you got on this? Oh, I can't be asked. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Then you know you can't really help that person achieve his purpose. But suppose when you meet somebody and they say, you know what, I've been studying law for the last 3 to 5 years. I want to be a lawyer. You can actually, you've got something to work with. You've got something that you can work towards to help that man achieve his vision and achieve his purpose. There are too many men out there who are demotivated and who don't have any wherewithal to do anything. And what they do is they come into the lives of unsuspecting women, assuming that these women are going to be flattered by their compliments, and they don't have anything to offer. Now, God forbid the woman hasn't got her head screwed on or doesn't have a checklist by which to tick it off by. She can get caught up into that scenario, and then you can't build a family on a weak foundation. It's not possible. And what a lot of people are doing, both men and women, they're building relationships on weak foundations. Men are choosing women based on their looks, they're choosing women based on their jobs, and they're choosing women based on what they have. It's not enough. A lot of times those women, just because they have all this stuff, doesn't mean they're going to support you. It doesn't mean they're going to help you. It doesn't mean they're going to enable you. Likewise, women, when you see men, and what are you choosing a man for? Are you choosing him for the right reasons to help build a relationship? Is he God-fearing? Is he going to build you up? Is he going to support you? Is he going to be able to do those things you can't do? Is he promoting you? Is he building you up towards your dreams? You know what I mean? You need to have equal input so that when you're rebuilding the family, it's on firmer ground. Like I said, for those of you who've already made poor choices, it's very difficult to get out of that unless the two people are willing to start over on a new premise and a new foundation. And that can be done through counselling, it can be done through talking, if that person cares enough. But supposing you've taken on somebody who doesn't care, what are you going to do? So it's not easy really when you're thinking about how the struggle, especially that black men have when they're trying to fulfill a role as a man, and then they've got all of these situations and scenarios that are beating them down and not allowing them to reach the next level, because the system is devised to fail. It's devised to make a minority to get through, to make it look like it's a fair world, and it's designed more or less to make the rest fail. Because if you don't have the foundation for greatness, how are you going to achieve it? And so the only way you can achieve it is by having that within yourself, so that you know what you're capable of doing and you build on that, and you build from a place where you're not dependent on other people. That's why they say entrepreneurship, business studies, all of those things that make you self-sufficient, so you don't have to depend on the man in the street to give you a job. I know the education system isn't designed to make you into an entrepreneur or to make you have your own business, self-employed, but you can do that yourself. But that's your only liberation, and that's the only way, if you believe in that vision, that you can actually rebuild your relationship so that it's strong, that your family members feel secure, because a family that feels safe and secure is a loyal family. The only reason relationships break down and families break down is because people are all over the place. They feel insecure, they feel unwanted, they feel neglected, they feel, unprotected. So they're all over the place, and they're jumping ship because they have so little faith. So if each individual has faith in their own vision, and both parties or all parties in the family can help fulfill each's vision, hopefully you've got a common vision that you can all seep into. Sometimes you see these shows, these talent shows, where the whole family is singing or the whole family is building a business. That's so beautiful. Everybody's got a common vision, which means all the investments go into one place, which makes it much easier, and it makes it stronger than when people are digressing and diversifying and going all over the place. So try to have a common goal. Try to all work towards that goal. Make sure you write down your to-do list every day and just work together and see if you can be a bit more tolerant. We're strangers. We come from different parts of the world. So we're not always going to agree, but it's how you disagree that makes a difference. You're not shouting and ranting and behaving like a hooligan. You're being moderate. You're being honest. You're being empathetic on both sides with a view to achieving a resolve. Well, I hope that was helpful. It's not an easy one to discuss, but hopefully out of all those little bits and pieces, you'll find some little nugget that will lead you on to the next step. Bye.